Quite many years ago, in the fading hours of a house party, I sat outside in the garden with an old friend. From inside came the distant thud of music and pockets of laughter, 1,000 miles from the conversation we were having. My friend's relationship had ended a few weeks previously, and that night his heartbreak was palpable and raw. He told me how disconnected he felt from the people inside the house, from his life, and then he said something that made my heart sink. When I look into the future, he said, avoiding eye contact, I can't see anything ahead of me. At that moment, I thought something became clear. He was clinically depressed. Over the following days and weeks, I told my friend what I knew about the disorder and the benefits of therapy and antidepressant, and encouraged him to go to the doctor. Even though he was reluctant, I was sure of how much he would benefit. So I persisted. But then, after about a month of checking in with him, something strange happened. He started to feel better, without any professional help at all. I distinctly remember the moment, a disintegration of what I thought I understood about mental health. Evidently, since my friend's acute distress passed within a few weeks, he didn't sit clearly in the territory of what we might call mental illness. But he certainly wasn't mentally healthy for those weeks either. Instead, I realized he sat somewhere in the vast grey plains between the two. Everything we might think of as a symptom of mental disorder, worry, low mood, binge eating, delusions, actually exists on a continuum throughout the population. For each symptom, we vary in terms of how often we experience it, how severe it is, how easily we can control it, and how much distress it causes. In the terrain of mental health, there is no objective border to cross that delineates the territory of disorder. On top of this, the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that appear temporarily as a natural response to hardship and stress, like when we are heartbroken, exactly mimic those that, should they persist, are defining features of mental disorders. So blurry are these boundaries that some psychologists argue we shouldn't use the term or the terms illness or disorder at all, and should only view all of this as matters of degree. The current conversation can be summed up as follows. You should notice, scrutinize, and seek help for negative psychological experiences. Of course, for some people, this message will be essential. For those who are suicidal, it can be life-saving, but the message misfires when it implies that all negative states are problems, health problems, and things that can and should be fixed. That's not how life works. This is not to say people who fall below the threshold of a disorder should be silenced or ignored. I'm vehemently opposed to the accusatory, dismissive language aimed at snowflakes. We do need to encourage people with milder or more transient difficulties to talk. First, because any form of distress is horrible to experience alone. Second, because what seems mild may be the beginning of a more serious problem. But we need to figure out a way to talk about these negative emotions without sending the message that there is something dysfunctional about you for feeling that way. Think about it.